Thank you so much for joining this UN 2.0 session on using technology for a lot of our work. The session today is going to be co-presented by two different UN agencies, the United Nations Development Program, which is us, and we have also colleagues from UN Women who will be joining us from Bangkok. So maybe what we can quickly do is just do a quick round of acknowledgements and also let colleagues introduce themselves. So my name is Shomik Dey. I'm with the United Nations Development Program here in New York. I am UNDP's Workforce Planning Advisor, and I also work on crisis operations innovation. So I sit sort of in the intersection between programs and operations, particularly from the talent side. So it allows us to really understand what the kind of talent needs are within our programs and operations, and allows us to ensure that we have a workforce that is ready to meet UNDP's programmatic needs. I'm joined by my colleagues Timothy and Wenlong, who are here to support us. If you have any questions, I hope you have many questions, please jot them down either in the chat or in the Q&A sections, and we'll pick them up. I'll pass the microphone very quickly over to my colleagues at UN Women, Imad and Federica, for just some quick introductions, and then I'll pick back up from there. So over to you guys.
Thank you so much. My name is Imad Karim. I'm from UN Women Regional Office for Asia Pacific. I lead an advocacy campaign and innovation. Federica, to you.
Hi everyone, colleagues. My name is Federica Tornincasa. I work in Emad's team at the UN Women Regional Office for Asia and Pacific, and I support the AI and youth portfolio.
Fantastic. Thank you. Welcome, colleagues. So I'm going to share my screen, and I will go to the launch page of our presentation. I will do a brief introduction, and then we'll run into the presentation. The presentation ends with a short video, which sort of encapsulates what we will talk about today in a visual manner, and then we will jump into some question and answers, and then I will hand the floor over to Imad and Federica for their session from UN Women. Okay. Once again, welcome colleagues to our session on what we are calling reimagining the future of work at the United Nations. We are really looking at three sections in this presentation today. We're looking at what we are calling a UNDP Global Talent Marketplace. We're looking at a consultants mechanism that potentially could be accessed by UN agencies and beyond. And we're also going to look at a section on how organizations can map their internal capacities. Now, in many ways, talent is our core strength. Our people are our strength, whether it's UNDP, whether it's another UN agency, whether it's NGOs, any organization is led by its people. And one of the challenges we face, because we serve the world, we serve communities all over the world. Our organizations in some ways are very decentralized. Now, while this is very valuable and important for the work that we do, what it also means that often we're not 100% sure of exactly what our talent is doing, where it is based, what their skills are. Often our knowledge of our talent is based on their job titles or the particular area they happen to be working in now, but they might have a lot of different other skills that we may not be familiar with. So mapping our capacities allows us to fully really understand our talent and then be able to leverage it effectively. I want to thank a few colleagues before we get started. The session we're doing here at UNDP today is really, truly a cohesive and a joint effort between many different parts of the organization, particularly our Bureau for Management Services, within which the Office for Human Resources is really leading this. It's on the forefront of all our talent work through what's called People for 2030. People for 2030 is this sort of overarching mechanism how UNDP is trying to make sure that it has the right workforce for the challenges of the future. It's the document, the vision is available online. So if you Google People for 2030 UNDP, you can actually see that. It's a very useful and sort of enlightening document. I also want to thank our Bureau for Policy and Program Support and the Crisis Bureau, which are UNDP's policy bureaus. These are where technical colleagues sit and lead our interventions in the field, whether it's for climate, health, poverty reduction. UNDP is engaged in many different development and humanitarian areas. So I wanted to quickly acknowledge how this truly is a sort of a sort of an organization-wide effort. Now, I have highlighted in green the three sections that we're really going to look at today. It's capacity mapping. It's really skills mapping of the organization. It's the internal UNDP talent marketplace, which we want to take, to beyond UNDP, and is the GP and Express roster, which is our consultants roster. Now, this falls under an initiative that we are calling the strategic management of UNDP capacities and workforce planning. It's really UNDP's efforts to make sure that our talent is well prepared and we really know what our talent is capable of doing so that it can actually achieve the goals of the organization. There are other components of this initiative, but today we're really focusing on these three particular components. Just to kind of reiterate, all of this sits under our People for 2030 effort, and under that we have this strategic initiative, joint initiative, and the three sections that we are speaking about today: the global talent marketplace, the GP and Express roster, and capacity mapping. All are sort of layered under this global initiatives. Now, we will talk about the Express roster, we will talk about capacity mapping, but we really want you to fully understand what this global talent marketplace is. And as the text says on the screen, it really is an AI-driven solution that connects the right talent to the right opportunities at the right place. Often in large organizations, it's complex and difficult to hire quickly and deploy them at the right time, at the right place. So we're really leveraging technology to make sure that we can really unlock, the potential of our workforce. There are four different buckets that we're really going to talk about today. This really is based on a AI, machine learning, and robotic process automation platform called eva.ai. This is the engine room. This is the technology that we're using to do all of this workforce planning and talent work. It leverages both what we call our internal talent, which is the internal talent marketplace. UNDP has 23,000 folk in its workforce. How do we leverage these folks as and when needed? It also looks at the Express Consultants roster, which has now almost 14,000 technically verified experts that UNDP offices can access. Other agencies are also already starting to access some of these pools. Skills mapping, capacity mapping is a crucial component. To be able to deploy our internal talent effectively, we need to know what their skills are, what their capabilities are. And all of these tools currently are available to the entire organization, and we want to try and see if we can take this beyond UNDP to the larger UN system and beyond. Just to give you a quick chronology of how we arrived today at this global talent marketplace, this really builds on existing mechanisms, which is the surge mechanism for crisis response and the Express roster, which has been in place since 2009. We basically managed to identify a digital technology, which is Eva AI, in 2019-2020, on which platform we have actually developed a lot of these tools and mechanisms. The big first item was what we did was COVID-19 capacity mapping. UNDP was doing a lot of COVID-19 response, and we needed to know who in the organization has the skills to help UNDP do this. The success of that led us to do UNDP-wide capacity mapping, ensuring that we can really map our entire workforce. The first iteration was back in 2021, and we just did a second version of it in 2024. We've done global calls to continue to build our consultants rosters, and now the consultants rosters, which initially started as a crisis roster, covers all of UNDP's work: programmatic operations, external relations, communications, etc. And today we're in a place where we were able to launch the talent marketplace, the internal talent marketplace, and the second version of capacity mapping. This is the focus on this session to a certain extent is on technology. So I quickly wanted to run through the technical components of the platform that allows us to do a lot of these efforts that we're doing. We're working using a large language model for AI job recommendation. This automates matching candidates to job vacancies, to detailed assignment opportunities, to consultancies. This really enhances, the decision making to ensure that the right talent is identified against the right opportunities. We also use RPA. This basically, is sort of these little bots in the platform that automates a lot of often mundane processes, but ensures that also generates notifications to the colleagues or candidates that need to be notified of certain opportunities, etc. The machine learning component is also super critical when recommendations are made for opportunities. It's a two-way exchange where colleagues and candidates can actually communicate and say whether this is something that's relevant for them or not, and that allows the machine to provide more nuanced and better curated recommendations for the future. We also use conversational AI. We have a pretty effective chatbot, which allows folks to communicate with each other, answer questions, also get notified of opportunities. The skills widget that we have is really focuses on capacity mapping, and that's where folks go in to identify the technical and what we call cross-functional or programmatic project management skills, for example, that they have. We're also using predictive workforce analytics. This allows us to really make predictions on what kind of workforce we will need by looking at the demand for skills and the demand for UNDP services. And of course, we use BI tools or business intelligence tools to really do very effective visualization that allows us to visualize our talent, in particular talent pools or geographical areas, and also allows management to make decisions on how to ensure that we have the right workforce when needed. Just a quick screenshot of what the platform, EVA AI platform looks like. It's the user interface and the user experience is super easy. It's very intuitive, it's mobile friendly, and this is where colleagues come and create their profiles, map their skills, etc. This is what the capacity mapping widget looks like. Just a quick screenshot. It allows folks to quickly come and identify their skills and the level of experience they have in that particular skill. So right now, this obviously is being used by UNDP, but could easily be contextualized for NGOs, for other UN agencies and beyond, that would allow those organizations to map their skills within the organization. Just a quick visual of this capacity mapping that we did internally for UNDP, what it looks like. I know these maps are a little bit small, but it'll give you kind of a general idea of how well distributed our workforce is across the globe. It gives you an idea of some of the major technical areas where our workforce is strong in. It also allows us to look at areas where we need to build our capacity. The BI tool that we're using currently, it's called Pi BI, that allows us to do lots of permutations and combinations towards our sort of workforce planning efforts. The heat maps allows us to see where there's a high concentration of talent, and you can really see in all of our technical areas, and you can disaggregate by grade, language, gender, etc. Just another quick visual of the talent marketplace in action. Basically, we identify talent using the technology, and we quickly deploy them, sometimes in less than 48 hours to where that talent is required. A little bit more on the internal talent marketplace. I just want to talk a little bit about the what, why, and how. Now, organizations like UNDP that does a plethora of different programmatic interventions, often need specific skill sets at specific times. They might not need, let's say, a rule of law expert or an economist for the entire duration of the year. They may need someone that gets deployed to focus for 2-3 weeks on developing a project document or working with a government counterpart. Excuse me. So talent marketplace allows us to really quickly identify that internal talent and deploy it. UNDP works around what's called a strategic plan, which is its overall vision on how to help country offices meet the SDGs, work on poverty reduction, work on crisis response and recovery. And basically, by using this technology, we identify the talent that we have in-house. We identify the need for that talent at specific times in specific offices, and then we're able to deploy it. We're working on many different innovative ways of ensuring that our talent force is mobile, that we have an agile talent force. We're trying to see whether we can have everyone's job description having a certain component that allows them to support another office. We have a rating system, a two-way rating system similar to Airbnb, where you can rate the performance of the candidate, and the candidate can also or the staff member, I should say, can also talk about their experiences when they were deployed. We're using different sort of incentives to ensure that folks are released by their offices. We're using incentives to ensure that folks are interested in supporting the organization at large. So this internal talent marketplace is a real innovative kind of toolkit, both via technology and policy, to ensure that we can access and deploy the talent. Some of the quick benefits of this talent marketplace, and this is something other organizations here at this session should really look to. As I said, it's a two-way internal marketplace that allows folks that are looking to do short-term assignments and managers that are interested in finding short-term talent to interact. We really wanted to become a one-stop shop for our employees, our workforce, to really look for opportunities, not just to provide their experience to other offices, but also to learn more experiences and more skills themselves. The platform is key over here. It really allows us to leverage the most modern technology that we have for HR tools, application tracking systems, notifications, etc., to be able to do these deployments effectively. It really, as I said, provides opportunities for folks to be deployed globally. Normally, they may not have had those opportunities. Some colleagues may not be interested in moving to another country for a job, but they might be interested in supporting another office for a short period of time. Now, we call this the other side of the talent marketplace. I briefly spoke about the internal talent marketplace, how we can move people around internally. But the other component is this Express Consultants roster. And this has been around for almost 15 years. It's vetted by, pre-vetted, we call it, by technical experts in UNDP. So when we deploy these experts, our offices are confident that this is some of the creme de la creme of talent in these particular areas. Just to give you an idea, we have over 13,000 consultants on the roster. We do close to 2,500 deployments annually, and we can deploy folks within 3 to 5 days. We do tens of millions of dollars worth of these deployments, and this is one of the most successful tools within the organization, and it's cross-cutting across all our departments, bureaus, and offices. This is an important point for colleagues who may be interested to join, or organizations that might be interested to access our roster. All the experts on the roster are pre-screened against the UN sanctions list. They're pre-screens against the anti-money laundering list, and also against ClearCheck. So you can be rest assured that you won't find any experts or consultants on these rosters that may have any issues, let's call it, in a sense. So this is a key component of it. It's very easy for folks to access it. An office submits a request. Our team and the machine identifies candidates. The requesting office quickly ranks or selects, and then the deployment takes place. Obviously, we will give you our contacts later, and if you're interested in knowing the details of some of these processes, whether it's the internal talent marketplace, Express roster, or capacity mapping, we're happy to do one-on-one sessions. As you can see, we have a large number of consultants, 13 plus. These are some of the areas where we have an extensive number of consultants. Digital transformation is something that UNDP has really, sort of taken on board, as it has with sustainable finance. But it really covers the breadth of development and humanitarian work that happens in the UN system. So every agency, NGO can potentially find consultants that they're looking for from this consultants roster. Just a couple of testimonials, just a quick screenshots. It's really valuable both for consultants. It's one place they can come to and find opportunities. And if all agencies were able to find one-stop shop for consultants roster, this could really be valuable rather than constantly having to advertise or look at different networks. We also keep replenishing the consultants roster. We just did a big replenishment last year. We had over 25,000 applications. We're in the process of reviewing these candidates and ensuring that they're cleared against all the lists. They're technically verified, and this really has now allowed our pool of expertise to grow substantially. So between the internal pool and the external pool, UNDP has access to almost 25,000 experts. And this is, a pool of talent that we want other agencies to also benefit from. Why is this something that only UNDP should benefit from? Other agencies should also be part of this ecosystem and hopefully be able to access this talent force. What next, right? So our ambition really is to have sort of a United Nations global talent marketplace. Some of you may be familiar with a similar effort back in the day on civilian capacities. I found this in my office a few days ago. This was an effort in 2011 where the UN system was looking to see how it could provide talent to its mission. They were calling it a match.com for talent. In a way, it was ahead of its time. It was in 2011. And now we are basically making an effort to sort of not necessarily recreate it, but actually have a global talent marketplace. We want this to be accessed by UN agencies, NGOs, bilaterals, government counterparts, and it could truly be a global talent marketplace for development and humanitarians. This is our contact information. I would suggest I'll leave this on for a couple of seconds. Take a picture of this or a screenshot of this. You can contact myself, Timothy. You can send an email to the capacity mapping email. We'll put this up later on again. We're happy to do one-on-one sessions with different agencies, organizations, and talk to you more about how you can leverage the technology of eva.ai and our tools to really enhance your workforce and talent management efforts. Now I have a short video to play, so I'll quickly go into that, and then we will hand over to our friends at UN Women.
In a world facing complex and fast-evolving challenges, the United Nations Development Program must respond with agility, speed, and the right people. In 2024, UNDP launched the Global Talent Marketplace, a bold step forward in how we mobilize the best talent to serve the most urgent crisis response, recovery, and development needs. This is built on the well-established surge mechanism and express roster that has been serving country offices for over 15 years. Powered by EVA.ai, our award-winning platform, which uses AI, machine learning, and robotic process automation to streamline how we identify, match, and deploy experts faster and smarter than ever before. With access to both our internal workforce and global consultancy roster, the marketplace offers unparalleled flexibility, whether it's a short-term deployment, a remote assignment, or a specialized expert needed halfway across the world. The capacity mapping widget helps UNDP understand the full skill set of its personnel. The data allows UNDP to decide how best to leverage this talent and where. It's not just about filling positions. It's about matching skills to mission-critical roles through cutting-edge AI and RPA technology that maps skill, ensuring every assignment is a good fit. The digital reach of our deployment mechanisms and tools keeps growing with a strong and engaged community on social media. Because global talent deserves a global platform, and the world is noticing. UNDP was honored with the Innovation and Recruitment Award at the 2024 Career Development Roundtable in Vilnius.
With the help of the Talent Marketplace, I was deployed to Dominica to assess the impact of the devastating floods. I trained a dozen students from Dominica State College, and together we surveyed nearly 200 households in the hardest hit areas. The Talent Marketplace made it seamless to jump in, make a real impact, and use my skills where they mattered most.
From crisis response to sustainable development, the UNDP Global Talent Marketplace ensures we are always ready with the right people at the right time.
Thank you very much, colleagues, for sitting through that session. I want to see if there are any specific questions that we want to take. Do you want to highlight a quick question, Tim, for us? You can unmute and read it out.
We have a question from Amalia. From a candidate perspective, will this tool be able to suggest UN roles based on skills and experiences?
That's a very good question. And, you know, the goal really, as we take this potential platform and tools to outside UNDP is, you know, also to help candidates looking for opportunities in UNDP. You know, based on, let's say, your resume or your CV, we're hopeful that this platform will be able to proactively connect you with job vacancies. Now, we're doing this internally already using the large language module. We've basically connected eva.ai to OpenAI. And essentially, periodically, as soon as a job vacancy becomes available, it proactively connects that job to UNDP folks within the organization. And this is something that we would be very interested in taking, outside of UNDP. Tim, maybe another one?
There's a question from Theory on the current funding constraints and how this may affect initiatives such as the talent marketplace.
It's a very good question, actually. Very good question, actually. And the fact that we have a funding crunch actually puts greater value in these tools, right? Because look, realistically speaking, there probably won't be as many job vacancies as there used to be. There won't be, as many long-term opportunities as there used to be. So the idea is that, we can leverage the consultants roster for more short-term opportunities. We can leverage the internal talent marketplace for more opportunities. For example, right now, the talent marketplace, the internal part, focuses on what we call detail assignments internally within UNDP. Now, let's say there was a need for a particular technical expert in UNICEF or UN Women or UNHCR. Why can't we look internally within our agencies and deploy someone on a short term? Right now, doing that is pretty complicated. So it will require a little bit of a policy enhancement. But by using the talent marketplace, using the digital tools that we have, it can potentially deploy people for short-term assignments, not just within agencies, but between agencies. And giving this funding crunch, I really see a lot of value in these tools where instead of an office having to spend X amount to hire someone for a year, they can actually quickly get someone for 6 weeks or 2 months that they really need for a specific assignment. So we really see this as an opportunity for both the internal talent marketplace and the Express Consultants roster to really provide even greater value than it already has. Thank you. Tim, maybe another one? We'll take one more.
From Louisa, we have a question on how the platform can integrate with other recruitment platforms.
Very good question. So one of the cool things about technology nowadays is that, technologies can talk to each other using APIs and other connect points. For example, the Eva.ai platform is connected to the Oracle Recruitment Cloud, which is UNDP's main application tracking system and recruitment platform. Similarly, it is connected to the business intelligence tool that I showed, which is Pi BI. For visualizations, etc. So it's very easy for tools to talk to each other. So, if your organization is using a particular application tracking system, it can very easily combine with Eva.ai, with the tools that we are using. So this is something that can happen seamlessly. I'll leave it at that because I do want to give some time to my colleagues at UN Women. I'll hand over the floor to Imad and Federica. And then, of course, if there's some time left, we can come back for more questions. Thank you so much for listening. Over to you guys.